Why do you still feel tired, even when you're getting enough sleep? Why does your memory seem foggy, even though your doctor says everything looks fine? Could it be aging, or is there something quietly shifting inside you? Something no one ever warned you about? After 60, changes begin to unfold gently, almost invisibly. And if we don't notice them, they can slowly add up and affect our health in ways we don't expect. Not because we've done anything wrong, but because we keep following old raw routines, habits that once served us well, but now quietly wear us down. The good news: science says even small, intentional changes can bring real results: more energy, better sleep, and most importantly, a deeper sense of control over your own well-being. This video breaks down 7 everyday habits that seem harmless, but may actually be taking a toll on your body after 60. Backed by doctors and research, these are simple changes you can start at home. If this kind of content speaks to you, go ahead and hit subscribe. So whenever you're on YouTube, you've got a place that feels like a warm reminder to take care of yourself. Let's begin. Some of the biggest improvements start with the smallest shifts, like how much water you drink. "I'm not thirsty" might sound harmless, but after 60, that's often the first sign something's off. Imagine your body like a houseplant, still standing, still doing fine, but its roots are dry. There's no thirst, no dizziness, no warning, until one day you stand up and the world spins. You hit the floor, heart racing, wondering what just happened. It's more common than you'd think. As we age, the body's thirst signals fade. You might assume everything's fine because nothing feels wrong, but that's the danger. When you're underhydrated, your blood thickens, your heart strains, and your brain gets less oxygen. Your body, once a smooth machine, begins to stall. Tufts University found that just a 1–2% drop in hydration can noticeably affect brain function, and older adults are both more prone to dehydration and less likely to feel thirsty. Mrs. Linda, 74, from suburban Chicago, thought she was doing great. Cooking, reading, no signs of fatigue. Then one day she stood up to answer a call and collapsed. No dizziness, no warning. The diagnosis: chronic mild dehydration. Not an emergency, but enough to strain her blood pressure and kidneys. "I never imagined something as simple as missing water could almost knock me down," she said. That's why some folks now keep water within arm's reach, on the shelf, next to the bed, beside the couch. Others sip half a glass before each meal. A small way to stay ahead of the curve. Don't wait for thirst. Sometimes by the time it shows up, it's already too late. Let drinking water be part of your rhythm, like taking a breath, like stepping into the morning light. If someone you care about is over 60, ask them, "Have you had water today?" Don't wait for a fall to remind you how vital hydration is, because sometimes what's keeping you upright isn't your legs. It's a single forgotten sip. But hydration is just one part of the bigger picture. There are other habits we keep thinking we're doing the right thing, like following prescriptions to the letter, without realizing our body has quietly changed. And when those prescriptions stay the same, even as the liver slows down and absorption shifts, what once healed can quietly start to harm. Kidneys get weaker. The brain becomes more sensitive to substances that once seemed harmless. But many people stick with old prescriptions simply because they think it's always worked fine. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 Americans over 65 is taking at least one medication that no longer fits their current body. Mr. Michael, 71, a retired accountant in Denver, still walks every morning and takes his pills like clockwork. He's been on the same prescription since he was 64. Lately, he's been getting dizzy when he stands. His vision blurs while reading the paper, and his memory feels slower. No one thought twice until blood work showed elevated liver enzymes. His doctor adjusted his dosage and switched him to a newer version. Within weeks, he felt sharper and steadier. It wasn't the medication's fault. His body had changed, but the prescription hadn't. That's the real risk. The side effects don't hit like a thunderstorm. They sneak in through every lightheaded moment, every restless night, every flash of confusion you can't explain. A medication review every 6 to 12 months, checking liver, kidney function, adjusting doses, takes just 20 minutes. but it can protect years of clarity. Because at this age, clinging to what's familiar might be more dangerous than missing a single dose. And it's not just medications. There's something else we often overlook because we think, I still eat just fine. The truth is, after 60, the body doesn't process food the way it did at 40. One study found that people who kept eating the same amount of protein they did in their younger years showed brain aging up to 10 years faster. Some fear they're developing Alzheimer's when it's really their kidneys struggling to filter excess salt and protein, thickening the blood, slowing circulation, and quietly dimming memory. Sound familiar? You're eating the same, but now you feel bloated, groggy, waking up dizzy. Too many dismiss it as just aging. But eating like you used to is now straining your liver, wearing down your kidneys, and accelerating cognitive decline. A study in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that diets high in fat and animal protein after 60 raise the risk of early memory decline by 34%. The NIH reports that excess salt, when your kidneys can't flush it efficiently, raises blood pressure and damages the brain's tiniest blood vessels. And the scariest part, these changes build slowly until one day the damage is done. The Taylors, a couple from Chicago, never suspected their nightly routine. Grilled meats, fried sides, heavy sauces was the problem. But soon Mrs. Taylor was often dizzy and Mr. Taylor was sluggish, forgetting where he left things. Tests showed early kidney strain and decreased brain circulation. Their doctor pointed to their diet, so they made changes, cut the salt and fat, downsized portions, added more veggies and grilled fish, swapped soda for warm water. Nothing drastic, but a few weeks later, Mrs. Taylor said, "My head feels lighter." Mr. Taylor joked, "At least I can find the remote now." They're not the exception. Data from the National Institute of Nutrition shows that after 60, most people need 20 to 30% fewer calories a day, and simpler meals help ease the load on the liver, kidneys, and brain. Many start small, have the meat, steam instead of fry, toss in an extra veggie, trade soda for water. That alone can make your whole body feel lighter. Keep eating the same and sure, you'll feel full, but your brain will age faster, your kidneys will strain harder, and mental fog will slowly creep in. Because how we eat today shapes how clearly we live tomorrow. Just like eating habits, we hold on to old routines simply because nothing seems wrong, until one day everything starts to blur. Have you ever assumed your vision must be fine just because you can still read or drive? That's the tricky part. After 60, eyesight doesn't usually crash overnight. It dims gradually, like lights fading one by one in a room you didn't notice growing darker. Most age-related eye diseases don't hurt, don't turn red, and don't interfere with basic tasks until suddenly they do. A study from Johns Hopkins found that nearly 1 in 3 people over 65 has retinal damage without knowing it. You don't see the blur because your brain fills in the gaps, but slowly the light fades and you're unaware. Mr. Thomas, 72, only booked an eye exam after he lightly scraped his car backing out of the garage. The doctor told him he'd lost most of his peripheral vision. Everything seemed clear until it wasn't. Macular degeneration, glaucoma, cataracts, they can all be caught early, but only if you get checked. No pain doesn't mean no problem. Your body is still sending signals. The question is, are you paying attention? A simple eye pressure test, a quick glance at the retina, just a short visit to an eye care specialist. It's more than just getting checked. It's how you hold on to light. It's how you protect your ability to walk outside without second-guessing the color of a traffic light. It's how you preserve the point of arranging flowers, reading your favorite book, or seeing your grandchild smile, clearly, fully. If this speaks to you, share a thought in the comments. Are you still driving? When was your last eye exam? And if these gentle reminders help you, hit like and subscribe. Sometimes it's the smallest action that protects something you'll treasure for years. Because losing the light doesn't happen in a blink. It fades when we convince ourselves that things are still clear enough. But not everything that shakes us needs light to be seen. Sometimes it's a dizzy spell, barely noticeable, easy to brush off. And yet, some lives have ended, simply from standing up too fast. It sounds extreme, but it happens. one moment of lightheadedness, one misstep in the hallway, and they never got up again. For the young, it's a fleeting feeling, but after 60, those little signs carry more weight. As our bodies slow down, it takes longer for blood pressure to keep pace with movement. So each time we rise too fast, the brain may not get the blood it needs. And that alone is enough to make us fall, even in the safety of our own home. A study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that up to 1 in 3 adults over 65 have postural hypotension, and most don't know it. For them, the risk of falling is doubled. Mr. Tom, 72, from suburban Atlanta, thought he was doing fine. He watered the garden, walked his dog every day. But one morning, he bent to tie his shoe and shot up when the phone rang. His vision blacked out and he stumbled, hitting his knee on the table. No broken bones, but he lay there stunned for nearly 30 minutes. Since then, Nympha slowed down. He keeps water by the bed. He sits up gently in the morning, letting his eyes adjust. Before standing, he breathes deeply, then rises slowly. It may be slower, but it's steadier. And it's not just Tom. Anyone over 60 can make these small changes. Don't jump up from bed. Take a moment, sit and breathe, pause after bending down or sitting for a while, and drink water throughout the day, even if you're not thirsty. Dehydration sneaks up on older bodies more easily than we think. That glass of water by your bed. It could be one of your most important daily habits. If you've felt lightheaded recently, write it down and bring it to your doctor. You don't need to journal, just jot the time, what you were doing, how it felt. Small notes like that can give doctors clues even machines might miss. You don't have to overhaul your life. Just start with a sturdy chair, a deep breath, a glass of water in the morning. Because not all falls take you to the floor. Some quietly take you out of daily life, one dizzy moment at a time. Preventing a fall is tough, but keeping your mind sharp over the years, that's even harder. Too often we think, if my heart's fine, I'm fine. Many over 60 believe that stable blood pressure and no chest pain means all is well. But the brain, the one organ that drives everything, is often the most overlooked. According to the U.S. National Institute on Aging, 1 in 4 people over 65 already has signs of memory decline, and most have no idea. In the beginning, there's often no pain, no warning signs, but if left unchecked, the consequences can be serious. Mr. Roberts, 69, believed he was in great shape, strong heart, healthy diet, regular workouts. Then one day he forgot the lyrics to a favorite song. Another day he found himself standing at a street corner, unsure how to get home. The diagnosis, mild cognitive impairment, not Alzheimer's, but a red flag. His heart was strong, but his memory was beginning to slip. And if you're thinking, that's just a little forgetfulness, remember, forgetting a dose of medication can mean the wrong treatment. Forgetting your way home can mean wandering alone in the dark. Forgetting to turn off the stove can mean a fire, or worse. Every lost memory quietly adds a new risk. The good news, the brain can be trained, just like a muscle, and it doesn't take much, just 10 minutes a day. Try a crossword puzzle. Recall the name of an old friend. Jot down 3 things you almost forgot today. Call someone and tell an old story. Because while your heart keeps you alive, your memory keeps you you. But even with a sharp mind, if you live too quietly and no one knows your daily routine, the risk doesn't go away. It just gets harder to see. If an older adult collapses at home, how long before anyone notices? 1 hour, 1 day, or 3 days later, when yesterday's stew is still sitting warm on the stove. This isn't just a scary thought. It's real. In 2023 alone, nearly 13,000 emergency cases in the U.S. involved older adults who were discovered too late, just because no one realized something was wrong. After 60, many people start living more privately, not wanting to be a burden. But living quietly isn't the same as living invisibly. If no one knows your routine, when you eat, when you sleep, what you usually do, then no one notices when you stop. According to the CDC, social isolation raises the risk of dementia by 50%, heart disease by 29%, and stroke by 32%. Not just from loneliness, but because health issues go unnoticed. A 20 Journal of Gerontology study found that older adults living alone without any passive check-ins from family or community are twice as likely to die from medical emergencies. Mrs. Esther, 78, lives alone on the third floor of a Brooklyn apartment. She's healthy, no chronic conditions, just doesn't use a smartphone and rarely texts her kids. They're busy, she says. One Monday morning, she collapsed from a sudden blood pressure drop. No one knew. It wasn't until Tuesday afternoon, when her mailbox overflowed, that a postal worker alerted the manager. She had been unconscious for nearly 30 hours. She survived, but never walked the same again. If just one person had noticed she didn't send her usual morning message, one tiny detail could have changed everything. And honestly, preventing this doesn't take much. One daily message to a friend, a simple motion sensor by the bedroom door, a note. If you don't hear from me today, check in. Not to be watched, but so you're never just gone without a trace, because living alone doesn't mean disappearing. And if you noticed, nothing in this video was about disease. Not a diagnosis, not a symptom, not a hospital visit. Just habits. The small things we've done all our lives without thinking. But after 60, even tiny changes can pull us out of sync. Because after 60, the body is like a symphony. Just one offbeat note, and the harmony starts to fade. And most of us don't realize it until it's already happening. The good news: there's still time to rebalance. Pick one small change from the 7 mentioned. Your body will slowly catch on, and soon waking up feels smoother. The day flows more clearly. Every meal, every walk, every smile feels more alive. If something here made you pause for a moment and think, take that as a good sign. Leave a comment, even a simple, "I understand." Someone else reading it might feel just a little less alone. And if you want to pass this message on, send it to someone walking with you through these years after 60. Thanks for spending your time here. Wishing you health, clarity, and a life lived with intention from this moment forward.